Tori, I've been thinking about my mom. Honestly, I'm still fucked up about Raj. Got me thinking about my dad. I ain't haven't been the past. Life been moving fast and it don't ever go as planned. That's why I'm hella proud to get me pick that camera up. I remember how first he picked the hammer up. Cause then I'm praying for you every single day. Every time we talk on FaceTime, I see my uncle fade. Then I start thinking about Don. He could keep on going on. Too many people try to fit him in one song. If you with me, then you with me, and I hope you sing along. 20K on taxes, Burberry in my glasses. I look like stuffing money in a wrong slide to the bank. This brand all legal. 20K up, not at all. We ain't equal. You should see the fucking views. Scenery immaculate. I'm stacking at 24. Said I'm done with this rapping shit. 25. I just checked 25 last month. Why you think I picked this fucking mic back up? I'm 35th and 19. My boy, where that cash at? Bitch, in my cash app. Talking about a repost. I got hella cheat codes. Gotta be my people. I was peeping through that people trust. I see the other side. What I'm about to tell you, dog, it really blew my mind. Think about it, brother, before you try to say I'm lying. I was only planning 10, but I passed that. It's past 10. When you get money, you don't care about advantage. I can't rub a past kid, make paper backflip, hit the bank like an addict. I have it, I ain't running out. I'm the type of motherfucker that keeps spending in the drill, dog. I got it figured out. Hey, keep going, dog. Keep doing what you trying to do. It took 3 years for me to make 20 bands off the dogs. You feel me? It took 3 years. It took me three seasons of storage wars to finally tell my girl, hey, get up. We gonna go get a unit. We made more than I ever did at work. You know what I mean? And guess what? I got let go this year. It don't even matter. I made it happen. 2024, I lost my job. Ah, boo. It don't really matter though. Last year I learned voodoo. Long live Raj. I miss you. I'm still addicted. Only difference is I am no longer a victim. 100 grand, I predicted and I did it. And you know what that means. Now I'm focused on the million every day. I thank God just because we live it. To all my little brothers, you got it. Just stay committed. And all I need is Kevin Dunn. That's 100. Yeah. Cause they the ones who had me when I had nothing. Yeah. They the ones who held it down. And now I'm son. Yeah. So who you think I'm putting on? Like, come on. Oh, they don't even know. This ain't nothing like your homie that you heard before. This is everything I prayed for. Why you think I'm gonna finally jump to the other side of that table? I'm back down this now, yeah, we all. My bitch got the fist now, yeah, she dogged up. Ben had the fish scale, you niggas all cut. I've been past the 100, hope you niggas keep up.
Ben had the fish scale. Y'all all cut. Come on now. Let's stop it right there. Shout out to my brother Joe, man. I'm going to get straight to it, man. I appreciate each and every one of y'all that is on this call right now. And if you haven't been on this call before, I appreciate you because you are in for something. Man, it was a great week. Last week, we had a lot of great things happen. But, before we get started and go straight into the trading, I want to introduce myself. It's your boy Suave Flex, man. You already know who I am with the Splash Brothers. Again, here with another Sunday Outlook call, man. We're here every Sunday. Every Sunday, we do not stop. I don't care what the fuck is going on. I don't care about going out. I got kids to feed. I got a family to feed, and I'm pretty sure everybody on this call has the same thing as well. Y'all got mouths to feed, whether it's mouths to feed or you just need bread in the pockets, all right? So, getting straight to it, man. Again, I appreciate each and every one of y'all for joining and tuning in. Like I was saying, last week was phenomenal. It was great. I mean, we've seen a lot of things happen. Honestly, I still have my markups right here, seeing what could have happened and what did happen. Okay, we talked about key levels, quarter levels, all this good stuff. And if you don't know what these orange lines are, talk to us, okay? Because these are going to be your quarter levels. These are going to be quarter levels that you want to see where if you start to see breaking closes above these, that's where it's going to be kind of like a key entry to a kind of like yeah, key entry to help you and confirm. There we go. That's my word that I'm looking for. Confirmation, another confirmation for you to get into your trade. Okay, so first things first, man. Orange lines, quarter levels. Okay. Shout out to Jonathan. I know Joe said that you're one of our new students, man. Shout out to you, bro. I appreciate you for joining up. All right, joining up and tuning in and trusting not only Joe but the whole community and what we have going on here. And and if you're looking for something to obviously learn, this is it right here. Gold is going to be very volatile, very very good paired to trade. I don't trade anything else other than gold. Okay, so now if we're looking here at gold. We know last week we seen a lot of uptrend, okay? A lot of uptrend, some consolidation right here, some bouncing. It stayed at the 3,300 level a lot, which was obviously, again, I believe Joe called it out. He said, hey, look, there's another time for an entry right here. Let's see here. I think it was in the XAU USD. Look, over 300 pips. Boom, boom, boom. I sent this out. I wanted to see that happen. This is exactly what did happen. So I sent this out 5:20, 1:59 p.m. We see that it obviously did exactly what we wanted it to do. Consolidated, just took off. Okay, came back down to our entry, took off again. Okay, so you see that we have the markups, we have the tools, and the confirmation for these was very easy, especially right here. Especially right here, okay, y'all? And if you've been on our other calls before, we always talk about going from the 4 hour chart, going down to the hour chart, and going down to, really finding where you could really take these entries, aka sniper entries, and really be secure on your trade. Because even if you got in right here, if you got in at 32.90 and had a 100 pip stop loss, you would have been straight. Again, this is all about risk management too. If you don't give me 1 second, y'all, it's hot in my room. So, if you're
Bro's
really,
cooking. Bro's cooking. It got hot.
yeah, no, I am cooking right now. It is hot, but I'm also getting over this sickness, man. So I appreciate that. But with get into this right here, 4 hour chart, y'all. Going down to the 1 hour chart. And this is something that I learned from Joe and I liked it. And I just picked it up and I'm like, you know what? This is fire. This is it. Okay. Um, right here. We went to the 1 hour chart. All right. You see all these areas. I think we're gonna go down to the 30 minute. I like the 30 minute, okay? Because then that would have been a better, like, it tapped it and then just shot up right here. These candlesticks right here. And I think Joe talked about this. If you go back like 2 weeks ago on one of our calls, I think it's the one that I probably did not record, unfortunately, where I thought I recorded it and it wasn't recording, but we were still on the call. But anyways, y'all, this right here was great, great entry right here. Great entry. Even if it came back down, that next 30 minute gave you the opportunity to buy back up. The next 30 minute gave you another one, and then it even wicked again twice right here. These two wicks right here. Wicks tell stories, y'all. It literally tested. When you see these big, huge wicks right here, that's telling a story. That's telling you that gold was trying to liquidate everybody out, get all these people that thought, okay, snap, yeah, we're going down for sales. Let's go sales. Let's go sales. And then ended up taking out everybody in the market, okay? And we just saw buys, buys, buys. Also, if you follow the news, there was a lot of good things that was going on with gold. A lot of gold was found, I believe, in Uganda. I can't remember what. I think it was Uganda. And then just more. And obviously, we're the number one holders of gold. Okay, I believe it's like 2.3 trillion worth of gold or something like that. All right, I have to get my accurate numbers there. But that's besides the point, y'all. The point is, we're here to catch quick pips in and out the market. Okay. One thing that I'm really, really liking right now, and that I've always seen happen with gold, is these gaps. Okay. These gap trades right here. These gap trades are very, very awesome. Okay. Because that means that these need to be filled. They have to be filled. Okay. So we could see a potential retest coming down here. Let's wait. We want to wait. It's Sunday because anything could happen. Not only that, tomorrow is Monday. We know that it's a US holiday. Happy Memorial Day. All right, to all the soldiers out there, man. But
Yeah.
getting straight to this right here, we could definitely see some movement, consolidation. That's what I want to call it. And if you don't know what consolidation is, it's just the market moving sideways, not really doing nothing, not really playing how we want it to play. Okay? I'm trying to find a good way, this would be consolidation considered on the 4 hour chart at least, where the market was just,
Well, on the 4 hours, CJ,
yeah, I'm listening.
consolidation is what you're looking at. It is the retest. Okay. It's just because it's on a higher time frame that it's like, we're looking at it different because you look at it how we're so used to looking at 30 minute and 5 minute.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's such a big chunk. So you gotta understand every time we look at a 4 hour candle, you're actually looking at 4 1 hour candles.
yep,
When you start thinking of it that way, you understand like, oh shit, in 2 hours, 8 hours, my afternoon, this is what happened. And that's what you guys got to start understanding is like, so for example, this week that just passed, right? This week that just passed, you showed on the 30 minute and the hour how it gave the retest, right? Sometimes you get in, sometimes you don't, and it comes right back to it. Now, when it came right back to it, that could be tricky. It could have reversed and went down, but guess what? It gave the same move twice. And why did we know that? Because what are you on the 1 hour right now?
4 hour, 4 hour.
Go to the 1 hour. How you said you like it? The right answer, I know you went to 30 minutes, but the right answer was now go to the right. Look right there where you have your cursor. Go to those two little green candles to the right.
These ones.
Yeah, bro. What else do you want to see for buy confirmation?
Yeah.
And
Look,
off our zone.
and that's what I was
You
talking
want to
about when I
see
said
it
that.
buy
That's what I
exactly. You
like.
want to
Yeah.
see it buy out of that zone
Here, let me check.
with quickness, with urgency. And that's we know what wicks are. So if you get 3 wicks at an area, you got to start considering, guys. Look, that's 3 wicks at an area, right? The left one's engulfing to the two to the right. Okay.
This
The
one.
left one is super big, right? Look,
Are you sure? Are you showing your screen?
yes.
All right, hold on. Let me
Oh,
stop sharing mine. Let me stop sharing mine so you can share.
no, not share my screen. I want to show my screen. Hold up. Right here, bullish reversal patterns. Look at the U. Go look at your screen, CJ, and tell me what you see.
Same shit
It's a bullish reversal pattern.
right
It's
here.
a U. The red one falling into it is big, and then look at the green one though that engulfs it goes over it. It closes slightly above it.
Right here.
Then it retests again on
Oh,
the next candle, and then it takes off. Okay, but the thing is, when you have the bias last week, when I'm only dropping 2 trades in a crypto trade, it offered multiple entries for 50 pips. You guys got to understand, if you're trying to build your account, then you might want to secure those 50 pips. Or like your life might be different. If you only need to cover your phone bill and you don't have that big of a threshold to risk it the same like everyone else, then you need to secure 50 pips. When we're giving these trades off of these zones, you need to be happy with 50 pips even when you see us go for 300.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And the thing is because I don't need money as bad as the next person. Right now I'm growing mine, and it's kind of cool how I'm using it because I'm actually going to use it for our tax payments. So like last week or 2 weeks ago when I did the withdrawal video, that money's been sitting in Bitcoin ever since, and now it's at 570 because Bitcoin is at
111,000.
111. Look at that. So it's probably like at 580 right now.
Oh,
But the
109.
idea is that it's growing. It's an asset. You guys are understanding what Bitcoin is now and how valuable it's going to be, because 111 is not going to be the lowest anytime soon. It's going to keep going higher. So
Mhm.
with that being said, then I did what? I funded another $60 into the account, and now I closed the week last week at $120. 100% of the account. So if you would have put $1,000 in, that means I could have closed this week at 2K. You could have closed at 2K. Anyone could have made 100% of their money. Trusting the trades and only taking the 3 trades that we're giving. If
Yeah.
you didn't get an entry and but look how much it shot up. You could have even caught a later entry and still made money.
That's
But the thing is, I'm not trying to risk that. I don't want to give you guys that many pips, or I'm not that thirsty for pips where I'm going to give you guys a late entry. If it's not the best entry, it's not going to be our entry. That's pretty much it.
yeah. I
You
mean,
feel me? If we're going to lose, we're going to lose quick, and then we got to reconsider like we did last week. You
yes,
feel
sir.
me? Last week we ended with lesser pips. This week it was lesser trades. The same trade was really provided twice on a bigger time frame and scale, but you could have secured easily 500 pips.
Seven
Easily.
750 from when the market opened on Sunday, which was right here.
Well, not even that. You could consider 750 with or 700 with the Solana trade.
Yep, that too. That was a fire call. That was fire, honestly.
That was fire.
I wish
You
I would
feel
have got in
me?
on that one. Yeah, that was
We're
a
cooking. We're cooking. We grew. I grew. You feel me? We grew last week. If you would have took the entries based off of that, I was able to do 100%. That's how you do it. You want to grow. That's not a lot. It is a lot, but that's not a lot for 60 to 120. You don't feel it. You don't know what you're doing, right? Because I've done it a few times now. So every time I do it, that's the easiest part. I know what's coming. 60, 120, 180, 250. CJ seen me do it a bunch of times now. Okay, so the idea is that eventually one day, the way I'm doing it with this stuff, I've been thinking about when I'm gonna do it to you guys, but eventually here, the lots are gonna change. And you guys are gonna be a part of it for me and CJ as we go to this next level where I start risking, where I used to risk $10 a trade. All I gotta do is risk $100 a trade and follow the same rules.
Yep, I'm about to
You
be.
guys are gonna be with me on my 2, 3 losing days out the week. And then guess what? When we smack on those other 7,
It's gonna be
it's
amazing.
gonna be it's gonna be gravy, you know what I mean?
And I have a, my personal opinion, it could either be 1 to 2 or 1 to 4 kind of ratio. 1 to 2, 1 to 4. But I mean, we're going 1 for 50 in this case, because 50 pips, like Joe said, that's really all you need. 50 pips is $5 in gold.
But not only that, last week, if they would have caught 50 pips, CJ, you feel me? They could have caught it multiple times
Yeah, a lot. Look at all.
with the right bias. And that's why, too, we got to start sticking weeks out. If you're going to be in a bias mood, then you need to stay for, my bad. I meant if you're going to be in a bias, then you need to stay for bias. And if it messes up and it drops below, you don't automatically switch your idea to a sale.
Yeah,
You
stay.
let the 4 hour close and you get the overall big picture on what's going to happen.
And that's why I said
Because,
we got to wait on Sundays. Sundays,
yep.
yeah, you want to really wait, honestly. I used to trade Sundays and Mondays, and that shit will wipe me out, and I would be stressing out, down 200,
Well,
300.
it's not even that, CJ, because I've been in it with you, and what it is just it's not even the Monday or the Sunday. It's just when you overtrade. Because right now I'm having the most success I've ever had, and I'm trading 4 days a week, 5 days.
Mhm.
You feel me? Less. I haven't took a Sunday trade in a minute,
I,
right? And
I
like
stopped doing
even
all that.
when it opened and whatnot, I didn't even check for it. Like I wasn't really worried. I was like, okay, let's let it set up, because like I said, I don't want to just guess and you know
Yeah, because once you start guessing, y'all, you're gonna start
well, we just
guessing
can't
too
have no
much.
one practicing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
Because that can't be something you're hearing from us or getting encouraged from
exactly.
us. Encouraged by it. It won't happen.
And
And
and that's why me and Joe and Bodie, I think no, I don't think Bodie's on, but if not, that's cool. He just had a newborn, so it makes sense. But anyways, when we're texting each other and we're like, "Yo, hey, what do we see?" Like we want confirmation. And and Joe's really good at, stick to that one bias. It's really it's right. You got to stick to that bias. You got to be secure with what you're going with because again, if you start to think other things, you're gonna start over trading, start doing this, and then it becomes gambling,
yeah.
and then now you're losing money.
So what it is now you become human.
Yeah,
You feel me? You start this and that and Make a Wish and Gucci and Prada and everything, right? Like you become human. So when you become human, it fucks up the bank account. You got to stay like a robot. You got to stay only here for the fucking 3%, right? So last week when I was closing trades at $7 and this and that, you my account was at $60 for a while. It went up to 70 and then it's staying right there at 70 back and forth, went up to 80. And then it wasn't until that trade took off and I trusted the trade. This is what you got to learn how to do too. I trusted the trade and I added another trade on top of the next hundreds mark for the entry. And then I was able to secure more pips, but I moved stop loss. And when it came back, I started re-entering. And once it would go 70 pips in profit, I started throwing another lot. Because once the bias is, but this is conditional thinking. And when you have the conditional thinking, you have to apply the stop loss. And so what it means is, look, if you would have been out there at the bottom, CJ, there's a lot of ranging right there where we see in that. Go to the bottom,
all right.
lower, lower. You see how we see up there in that zone? Go up right there. Yeah, go to the left. You see how we have all those candles inside of there?
All these.
All those, right? That's not when you want to add to a position. That's not a winner yet. But when you go to the next quarter level, look, go to the next quarter level. Boom. The next 100 pips up, you added to a real runner. Boom. Now you're in profit. Now don't get greedy at the next 250 mark. Secure your shit and put a stop loss and then consider the next reentry. You
Yep.
don't just keep thinking, oh, I'm gonna keep adding to the position. With conditional thinking, you got to learn how to get in and out with 50 pips. Because if it's going in your favor, this motherfucker's gonna ride for a couple hundred pips. So this is how this is how you ride the wave. This is what makes you profitable once you guys have the understanding that this shit happens week in and week out. And all I did, the only difference from CJ, blah, 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 when I got started, I was able to trade London session, right? My boy has a kid, so he can't stay up all night every night. But I was able to stay up a lot of nights and I just started paying attention. And CJ would say this, KD would say this. And then I just started thinking, you know what? What if they're saying is true? What if it just happens to be that and you have to trust it? You have to trust it and it ends up happening. Okay. This is how me and CJ are able to mark up trades and then it plays out. And now CJ is really understanding the structure and his markups. I don't have to even question them anymore because they're the same markups I would do. And if sometimes not better, sometimes I'm a little slower. And as of lately, it's been
Get
moving
on
for
that
CJ.
crypto, my boy. You be stacking. I was just listening to your song. He said stacking on that crypto.
That's right. But you feel me? So
Yeah.
and that was because CJ started paying attention to it on a higher time frame. My boy used to trade the
5
5 minutes, the
minutes.
minutes.
5 minutes. Minute charts. I was a
And think
scalper.
about it, he used to see the same things, but he would see what we see. What takes us a day to see, CJ used to trade and would see that in 5 minutes, in 10 minutes, and think, or not think, but catch a bias. That's how CJ was able to make 3,000 something dollars, $4,000 on my couch the same morning. I only made $200. So, when he was able to do that, I definitely believed in shit. But then I learned with the sessions, certain sessions rain hit different. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? When you go to a job 6 a.m., you know, when you first get to a job, there's birds. 9 a.m., the birds are gone. You're just thinking in your own thoughts. You're back at work. But at 6 a.m., when they start to chirp during the spring and shit, it's a little nice. It's a little cool. It's a little bliss. It's a little like, beautiful shit going on in the world. Like you just hear nature or whatever. It's just real life, okay? But 9 a.m., that shit changes. You know what I mean? What, 6 p.m., the darkness starts to settle in. The sun's gone, okay? Now you feel cooler temperature. You gotta understand what temperature is going on, and you gotta start having conditional thinking when it comes to the markets. If you don't see things jumping up out of your trade right away, then you gotta consider consolidation and you gotta be ready and make your mind up. Do I want to risk right now or do I want to come back at pre-London session tonight when I'm off of work and focus? Because that's what I did last week. To get the 100% return, last week was a tough week for me because it was sitting there and retesting for so long. But I said, nope, nope, I'm not adding the extra position when it was at the entry mark. I said, nope, I'm just waiting. It broke even. I got in again. It went up 20 pips and I put broke even. It broke even again. I put in entry, whatever. And then the third one, it finally took off. But last week was very tough for me because I was eager to have results for the group. I was eager for movement to happen, but we don't force the markets. We could only react to them. So last week was very good for me. I was able to learn a lot last week with just faith and not even faith. It's just the more experience you get, the more you believe it. Because in the beginning, when you have 3 killer weeks and you have a bad week, if you have a second bad week, God forbid, then you start to question your strategy. And you can have a third bad week. And guess what? Those could be the three most strangest weeks that ever happened in the last 4 years, but you would never know. You just got to be consistent. And through consistency, the results are going to show. You guys are going to understand the markets better. You guys are going to be able to catch these pips.
Yes, sir. That's fire. I appreciate that. Because
Yeah, because that's what I learned last week. So I appreciate you too, because it's like, I was eager. I was like, damn, when's
yeah,
this shit gonna move? You
yeah.
feel me? And fuck 50 pips because it did 50 pips multiple times. I was waiting for the
It
250
did all
pips.
this right here, and then it started to take off. It like literally
Yeah.
32.20, what, 32, yeah, 32.09, and then it finally just that was what, Monday night, literally London session, exactly what Joe was just talking about. London session. That's exactly all London session last week. Gold was
And
just
look, and you know why I got in right there? You know what my dumbass told myself? It filled the gap. It filled the gap. Let's get in for buys, motherfucker. Because guess what? I had a buy bias.
yeah, right here.
Although following, following, sometimes you could look at that, it could go underneath. And it technically did. Once it went underneath,
Yeah.
it hit what 100 and something pips to the sale.
It hit what?
So both biases are correct in one instance, but I've never had successful money plays by having both bias. I've never had it.
That shit
The
was
longer I stay in a bias and don't change my mind, the more wins I have at the end of the day, especially when I can monitor my trades and move stop loss to break even.
and we know gold is going back up to 35, y'all. Like that, it's already known. It's already set in stone, and it's probably gonna break 35 this year for sure. It will definitely break 35. It's just a matter of time and
It
finding that.
happened tonight.
Yeah, honestly.
We seen that a couple months ago. What, a
Yeah, I was
month
gonna
ago?
say, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
1,000 pips, and
Yeah,
we were calling the trade, and we didn't stay in it.
we didn't. I
A
remember
thousand pips,
was that
700
30,
pips, something crazy.
29, it was 29.90, and we said it was gonna go up what 5 to 30, what 35. That was almost what's yeah, more than.
One of them, I just know we missed a 700 pip move,
And it
and I
could,
think we had the right bias. And I was like, dang, sometimes they get away from you. But then I have to also be grateful for the trades we're catching, what we're doing right now,
exactly.
because when we think about one move, you're thinking about gambling. You're thinking about not what trading is. You need to be happy with making 5% a day. If you have $100, you need to be comfortable making $5, 50 pips a day. If you could catch another trade, 10, you go up 100 pips, great. You know what I mean? If you hit 50 and you want to risk and move to break even, great. But don't damage your account, especially not when you're trying to get out of this couple $100 range, couple $1,000 range. When you're trying to do something, with this stuff, it's a slow start and then it compounds because now you have more leverage. Now you could, you know what I mean? Now your trades could breathe more. When you have $100, I don't care how low you take it, there's only a certain amount of breath you get per trade. Now it's a lot if you take it to a dime to 10 cents of the fraction, but you could have $200 and double that. And now you're able to withstand these weak ass stop losses. And as long as you have the right bias, you're gonna win. And then your problem will be recognizing biases. Go ahead, CJ. Let them know what you have for this week.
Yep. Well, my bias is very, very easy. I want buys, but again, we're seeing obviously gold is, I mean, there's news, no news tomorrow. Bank holidays tomorrow, Memorial Day. We already talked about that. So very easy. I'm looking for buys, okay?
What are
But
the candles doing on the hour?
I want to see it break over 33.50. That was that last time it what broke and closed, but then it shot down. So on the hour chart, let's go right here. It's just a lot of consolidation right here,
Yeah,
honestly.
but it did that last week, and
It just took
last week
off.
it did that too.
And yeah, and it took off. That's why I'm in that buy bias right now because it could just touch 33.25 and then shoot right back up. Come right back here, just test this area, do that little head and shoulder formation, and then shoot right back up, going all the way back up to 3,500, which is where we want it to go. Because once we break 35, all I see is up. Okay, we might see
No,
some.
yeah, last week I thought, dang, I thought I might wake up and this motherfucker be at 34. Last week I thought that.
Yeah, honestly,
Obviously, it didn't
I
happen, but
thought it was going to touch 35 last week. If I'm going to be real, this is what I see.
okay. So where are your golden zones, and then where's the next quarter level?
So these are going to be my golden zones right here. I'm going to mark them right quick. Choo-choo.
Yep.
Yeah, I could do
I'm
that.
only asking too, so that way they could start to see it,
Yep.
because
No.
that's proper. You feel me?
Yep.
That's a ceiling. Yep.
This is my support right here. If we break this right here, I would want to see a hard breaking close under 32.25 though. If I want to see a really good sell bias, but again, I'm sticking to mine, which is going to be that buy. If I see that sell, I'm going to let the sell rock because then I'll just find a better entry for a buy. That's what I'll look for, a better entry for a buy. Because I'll let
And
the sell
and
rock,
and when you have that in mind, that means you're gonna look for a nice 1 hour, couple hours that give you that crazy entry that show you structure for a buy up.
which is the same shit that we just talked about, which was right here. This is what we want to see. If we want to see that sell, let it happen, sell, 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 back to that 32, and then boom, come right back up. And then
Yep. And they say with 3 candles, it usually is a different change of the run of trend. If you guys just, that's a little tip.
Because look, it
Now,
already
obviously, it's
it
not
already
always
filled this gap right
automatic.
here. I mean, we could see it come and touch our resistance and then come right back down. Again, we could see a lot of consolidation in this area right here. A lot of just sideways movement and then shoot back up. Or again, we could see that bias where it just if it tanks below that 33.25, it could even touch 33.25 and then shoot right back up, which is where I have it right here.
Yeah, and it could even just shoot up right now
That'll be my next golden zone right there.
on camera.
That would be fire if it just started to. I
That'd
mean,
be
yeah, in
crazy
30
though.
minutes, honestly, in 30 minutes, that's when London session's about to go crazy. Let's see what happened last week on that London session. I think it did shoot up. It was just all buys last week.
Might have been.
Let's see here. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Yeah, that was like a little baby buy right here. This little 4 hour candle.
Mm.
And then it just shot down. And then the following day, Monday. So we might see something happen tomorrow during London session. That's what we're gonna look for. So again, the market's gonna be slow tomorrow. I think gold is even gonna shut down tomorrow, just for the
Yeah, I
fact,
was gonna say, does it close?
yeah, it closes early tomorrow. So we might even just see it close at.
No, so what that means is, guys, in these holidays times, we just need to come back and check in around Wednesday or Thursday,
We could even do
and
a
a
call
crazy
tomorrow
move
too.
is gonna happen.
Just in case, if anybody wants to get on a call, if you guys want to, we'll get on a call just to see what happened. I'll do what quick 15-minute call if anybody has any questions, and then we could definitely do that. Because I mean, this is my bias. This is what I want to go with. I'm going buys. You see the pink lines right here. These are going to be your resistance and your supports right here. Support, support, resistance. Okay. And if you don't know what that is, yes, that way we can actually bless you.
My
That way
bad.
we can actually tell you
Thank you.
exactly what resistance and support is. We've already talked about the quarter levels. Those are going to be your confirmations to get into that, that good trader, a confirmation to say, okay, my bias is right. Okay. Because if you're hesitant to get into your trade, it's cool. That's fine. At least your bias was right. At least you had the right idea. And that's going to give you more confidence to take that next trade to make that money. All right. Because that's what we're here to do. Just 50 to 100 pips. That's it. That's all we need, y'all. But look, this call is recorded. It will be linked into the YouTube. All right. So make sure you guys go like that YouTube, go subscribe, and definitely be sure to follow, man. Follow your boy Suave Flex, Mr. Joe AVB sweeping, man. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in because y'all could literally be doing anything and y'all chose to learn how to make this money, learn exactly what gold is going, learn exactly what the Splash Bros are doing, and how we're changing lives every single day. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all and I hope y'all have a blessed night. Happy Memorial Day. Let's get
Good
it.
shit, CJ, and to let
Oh,
them know your screen. If they go look to the left,
hold on, let me go.
there was a strong rejection